Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So this morning, Bitcoin is still holding up really well above $27,000, just under 28K. And you guys can clearly see that not much movements have in fact been happening for Bitcoin for the past 2 days at least, right? Ever since we saw Bitcoin pump all the way up above $28,000. It's just been going down and it's been stuck pretty much in between 27 and 28K, mainly $27,000. So you guys can clearly see it is sort of um creating this next like support level. Okay, it is in fact in a support level right now. Because for the past few days we haven't seen much movements for Bitcoin, but you guys can clearly see at least Bitcoin is holding up really well above $27,000. Okay, because just a couple of days ago, it's been quite some time since we have seen Bitcoin, go above 27K. Okay, every now and then it will just go up and down, above this line. So it's great to see Bitcoin actually, above, this level right here of $27,000. So that's great. So in my opinion, Bitcoin is just doing its thing. It's just consolidating like what it does. Okay, every time it has a decent pump up. But we will see because tomorrow is June 1st. And if you guys haven't seen my most previous video, okay, definitely check it out. But I talked about this, okay, and June 1st will potentially be, a great month for Bitcoin potentially, but not quite. Okay, not quite, right? And I want to indicate and talk about that in this video on why June will potentially not be a great month. Okay, maybe the start of June, okay, June 1st, okay, that could be, a great day for Bitcoin and crypto, okay, because what's happening with, China and whatnot, right? Like I said, if you guys haven't seen my most previous video, definitely check it out. But I don't want to go too in depth with that. So definitely check out that video. Okay. But today, okay, Bitcoin is still holding up really well, in my opinion. Ethereum is still holding up really well as well, above $1,900. So that's great to see for, Ethereum and other altcoins today. Okay. It's still, looking pretty good, especially XRP. XRP we saw literally last night pumping like over 4%. This morning it's now currently at pretty much 6%, 5.9%, almost 6%. We're just going to round it up to, 6%. XRP has in fact been pumping, okay, which is great to see. You guys can see for the past week, XRP is up 13%. So yes, for the past, few days, XRP has in fact been holding up really, really, really well compared to these other altcoins, right? You guys can see Solana has been pumping as well. Right now it's currently up 3%. So, that's great to see for Solana. And yeah, majority of other altcoins today are not really moving. Filecoin is still pumping, okay, 5%. We saw it yesterday pumping as well. It's still pumping, okay, so that's great to see for Filecoin. And Quant is still pumping 4.9%, pretty much 5%. And you guys can see for the past 7 days, it's up over 15%. So that's great to see for Quant. Algorand we actually saw yesterday pumping, but sort of not really moving today. But yeah, other altcoins, not much movements. It's really just one of those days. Again, not much movements in the market. You guys can see the global crypto market cap today is currently at 1.16 trillion, and overall the market is up 0.44%. Okay, so not much movements this morning, right? Not much movements at all. So I want to show you guys a fair few charts. Okay, a outlook for the year 2024 and 2025, what we should be expecting for Bitcoin in these years, okay, the upcoming years, okay, next year and the year after that, right, 2025. So this chart, okay, pretty much, I agree with it, okay, this is sort of where, an idea of where Bitcoin should be heading in the year 2024 and 2025, okay. So I told you guys many times that 2023, personally, I think Bitcoin will reach a price target of $50,000. And pretty much this is where it indicates, right? Bitcoin will in fact shoot up to at least close to $50,000. Okay, at least. This rally, okay, let me just show you guys. Let me just go to the weekly time frame here. This rally that we have in fact been seeing for Bitcoin will in fact continue. Once Bitcoin breaks above this 30K level, it will in fact continue up. So it's going to go to $35,000, $40,000, and eventually it will go to $50,000. But yes, there will in fact be some days where Bitcoin will in fact consolidate, obviously have some small corrections. Okay, it's not always just gonna straight up shoot up like crazy. Okay, it's gonna have small corrections. You guys can see there's two curves right here forming. Okay, you guys can clearly see that. But obviously Bitcoin is going to have some small corrections every now and then. It's not always just going to shoot up. But yeah, these are in fact my next price targets for Bitcoin short term this year alone in 2023. And I think it's pretty realistic, right? This rally that we have in fact been seeing for Bitcoin, okay, will continue on. Okay, I don't think Bitcoin's going to like just drop back down like massively, you know what I mean, down to the downside. I told you guys that many times. I don't think Bitcoin will ever hit 20K ever again, for an example. Okay, it's just, very unlikely to happen because the Bitcoin halving is literally less than 1 year from now. So it's just very unlikely for Bitcoin at this time period to crash back down to like $20,000 or lower, right? So I think it's just very impossible. And then, of course, the halving. And once that happens, guys, the next few weeks, few months, we will in fact see Bitcoin just pump like what has been doing previous cycles, right? Previous halving events, Bitcoin always pumps the most. Okay, that's where it really pumps the most. And not just Bitcoin, but the entire crypto market. And that's when we really enter the next bull market, right? So be excited for that, guys. That's literally, it's going to happen literally less than a year from now. Okay, so it still gives us time to adopt more Bitcoin, to accumulate more Bitcoin, to buy more at this price level, because I think right now buying Bitcoin at $27,000 is still a great price in my opinion. Okay, it's still pretty cheap, right? It really is compared to where Bitcoin is going to be going in the next 2 years. Over 6 figures easily, over 200K in my opinion. Buying Bitcoin at 27K, it's a bargain. Okay, so that's that. I like this chart. I think it's very realistic, and yes, the year 2024 to 2025, this is the outlook for it, right? So be excited for all my Bitcoin holders out there that's watching this video. Now, there's a similar chart to this, okay, like what I just showed you guys right here. And yes, it's pretty similar, right? You guys can clearly see that. So everyone is pretty much predicting that this will potentially happen for Bitcoin. Okay, people are saying that Bitcoin's going to reach a price of over $48,000, right, in around July. Okay, and then it's just going to shoot back down to just under $30,000, around 27K, and then it's gonna absolutely shoot back up to like $60,000. Okay, in the year 2024, we will see, right? We will see. Okay, but who knows, right? But this chart is pretty similar to this one, so we will see. I don't think that only thing I don't really know if this will actually happen, if Bitcoin will have this massive correction to the downside, right, below $30,000. Okay, I don't think that's very possible. Okay, yes, we'll have small corrections every now and then, but I don't think Bitcoin will, go below $30,000. I think that's just very unlikely to happen. That's just one thing I would say, but everything else seems pretty realistic, and I would agree. You guys understand, everyone's just making assumptions and predictions of where Bitcoin will be heading short term in the year 2024, right? What we all know is Bitcoin will, okay, reach past its previous all-time highs, which is $69,000. That's easily gonna happen. The reason why I say that is because of the halving, right? Every single time, throughout history, our previous halving event, right, in 2020, once that happened, a few months later, Bitcoin pumped up like crazy, and then it was reaching a new all-time high. The same exact thing is going to happen in the year 2024. So yes, Bitcoin's going to easily surpass 69K, our previous all-time highs, in the year 2024. It's going to reach 70K, 80K, 90K, and potentially $100,000. I've been telling you guys that many times. I know that for a fact it's going to happen, right? So that's that. Now, one other chart I want to show you guys. Okay, a lot more green candles to come in the next 2 years, and that's very, very true. You guys can see this chart shows you guys, okay, that Bitcoin, okay, has already hit bottom, and it will in fact shoot up. Okay, just look at this chart. Okay, it's simple. You know what I mean? It really is. Obviously, the purple is obviously the red candles, and the green is the green, right? But you guys can clearly see, okay, Bitcoin shot up and then it went back down. Okay, and then in 2019, not much movements were in fact happening for Bitcoin and whatnot in 2020. And then towards the end of the year 2020 and 2021, the beginning of 2021, we saw Bitcoin shoot up. And the exact same thing's going to happen in the year towards the end of the year in 2024, right? Because the year 2025, that's going to be obviously a great year. That's when we will be in the bull market. Like what we saw in 2021, that's going to be in the year 2025, right? So yes, you guys can clearly see all these green candles, okay, formed, right? And then it was in the reds, and then sort of formed right here, and then it had a little drop, and then it really formed right here. And you guys can see all of 2022, just last year, it was all in the, in the reds. It was a really bad year for Bitcoin and crypto, right? We know that. And we have already hit the bottom and now it's forming in the greens. So clearly it's really simple. We will in fact be seeing more green candles. And this is why I always tell you guys that it's very unlikely for Bitcoin to crash back down to, $20,000 or lower, right? It's just a very low chance of that happening, right? It's just very unlikely to happen at this point, okay, at this time period, right? It's just not going to happen in my opinion, right? If it happens, it happens, but it's just going to be really rare. And I don't think that's going to happen, right? But yeah, we will see more green candles will in fact be forming in the next few weeks, next few months, of course. So we will see. And also, I want to show you guys this as well. Showing you guys that the bull market has in fact started. We are no longer in the bear market. Okay, so you guys will see this chart indicates that the bull market has in fact started, right, for Bitcoin. This is obviously the Bitcoin chart. And you guys can clearly see right down here. Right, when we're in the red area or in the red section, okay, that is in fact bottom. You guys can clearly see that, right? So 2015 it hit bottom and then it went back up in 2017. We know what happened in 2017, right? It went all the way up to Bitcoin went all the way up to $19,000, almost 20K. Okay, it didn't quite hit 20K yet, and then it dropped all the way down to like $3,000 in 2019. And then 2019 is pretty much where we are right now in 2023. It shot up, giving us a little teaser of another pump, right? But we're not quite there yet. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of 2020, okay, and the beginning of the year 2021, we saw Bitcoin shoot up. And guess what? All of 2022, it went back down. Okay, and look at this. We have already hit bottom and Bitcoin's slightly going back up. And now you guys can clearly see it's sort of forming a green line. So you guys have to understand, pretty much we are no longer in a bear market, even though yes, we haven't reached its previous all-time highs, but you guys understand, Bitcoin is in fact creating a new pattern to the upside. Okay, it's very, very simple. Okay, and it is in fact forming a green line, right? So the bull market has obviously started, okay, but it will officially start pretty much in the year 2025, pretty much, right? Towards the end of the year 2024 to 2025. That is when, guys, the next bull markets will in fact start, just like what it did in 2020 and 2021. Okay, so be excited for that, guys. The bear market is no longer here. We have already hit bottom, and Bitcoin is obviously pumping up, creating a new pattern to the upside, right? We have already hit bottom, and this is why I always tell you guys that it's just very unlikely for Bitcoin to go down below $20,000 or lower, right? Because we know its bottom was around 16K, around, actually it went below 16K. It was at like 15.8, 15.6 at one point, right back in November, 6 months ago. So if you got on that at that time, you're blessed, right? Because that would have been a great time to get in, because that was in fact, Bitcoin's bottom, right? So that's that, guys. The bull market has in fact started. Now, I want to show you guys this, give you guys an update on the Bitcoin monthly returns, since this is in fact the last day of May today. For me, it is. For you guys, it's not, right? It's the 31st for me. So far, May is down 5.3%, right? Bitcoin is down over 5% so far this month, okay? And we're going to end off with, that, right? It's going to be, pretty much a red month, okay? Which is okay, because for the past 4 months, guys, this year alone in 2023, you guys can clearly see that, Bitcoin was in fact having some massive gains out of nowhere. January, okay, pretty much, 39%. You guys can see almost 40% return. February, not much movements, but still we were in fact in the greens, okay? Which was lucky. March, you guys can see a massive move as well in March, pretty much 23%. April, not much movements, but we were still in the greens. Okay, so for the past 4 months, guys, this year alone in 2023, we were in fact seeing some pretty massive gains. Okay, pretty massive gains, just like what it did in 2019, right? Pretty similar. Okay, and you guys see this month we are in fact down over 5%. So yes, we're gonna end off May in the reds. It's going to be our first month that's in the reds for this year in 2023. And in June, I want to talk about this, right? We know 2022, that entire year was a bad year. I just want to say this. I know for a fact a lot of you guys that's watching this video right now, okay, you guys survived, right? That bear market. If you survived 2022, like if you did in fact invest into Bitcoin and crypto, okay, last year in 2022 when we're in fact in a bear market, okay, if you survived that year, which I'm pretty sure most likely you guys did, then what we are seeing right now for Bitcoin is completely nothing, right? Like if you survived that, then you'll survive anything at this point, right? Check it out, right? Just last year in 2022, April, we had Bitcoin drop 17% just in April. And then the next month after that, 15%, right? And then next month after that in June, 37%, over 30% drop. And the reason why, guys, right, June, okay, it crashed that much is because of a lot of things, right? For example, we saw Terra Luna crash, okay, a fair few crypto exchanges crash as well, like, Celsius and whatnot, Voyager. Okay, all these things just collapsing, right? And that caused Bitcoin to drop and, of course, the market, right? So, yes, last year was a crazy year. If you survive 2022, right, you will survive anything, right, in this market. Okay, you will literally survive anything because that year was literally the craziest year. Look at it. Just in April, May, and June. Like, it's crazy. If you add just these three up, right, that's like 70% drop right there alone. Just in April, okay, April, May, and June. That is pretty much like a 70% drop. It's 69%, pretty much 70% drop just alone, right? Remember in January we had a 16% drop, and then in August we had a 13% drop. In November we had a 13% drop. So yeah, a lot of red months for 2022, right? Which is to be expected, okay? Because all these things, and then FTX collapsed and whatnot, right, around November. And that's why we saw it drop 16% pretty much. So yeah, if you survive 2022, then you'll pretty much survive anything. Now let's talk about June, right? June next month, we will see Bitcoin pump or dump. Most likely, I'm going to be honest with you guys, we could potentially see Bitcoin have a dump, right? We could potentially see that, maybe, right? Maybe the first few days in June, we will potentially see Bitcoin pump and whatnot, right? Because some major news is in fact happening on June 1st, right? Like I said, if you guys haven't seen my most previous video, definitely check it out. But I reckon towards the end of June, we will potentially see Bitcoin have a crash down, okay? Potentially. And you guys to see 2022, Bitcoin dropped over 30%, okay, almost 38%. And that was literally the worst year in that month in June throughout the years. You guys can clearly see that, right? Like back in 2013, 10 years ago, Bitcoin dropped pretty much 30%, okay? Like just last year it dropped over 30%. So this is nothing, right? All these months, these previous months in June is like nothing compared to what we saw last year, right? That was literally a crazy month, guys. Like I remember that day, I saw Bitcoin dropping, I saw Ethereum dropping, okay? And I just wanted to just buy, and I did buy, right? I was buying a whole bunch of Bitcoin at that time. I was buying a whole bunch of Ethereum as well, right? And other altcoins that I believe in, right? But that's that. We're going to see what happens in June, but most likely June is not going to be a great month, okay? We will see. Things could switch up, But, you know, you have to see for the past 3 years, 2020, 2021, and just last year, 2022, it has in fact been in the reds. Okay, so we will see, right? Who knows? We will see. But most likely, guys, it's not going to be a great month for Bitcoin. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. More videos will in fact be coming your way today. I'm going to be uploading another video. And also, I will in fact be going live once again, just like what I did last night. I went live a couple hours ago, and I will in fact be going live later on today. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for the support lately. I really do appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I really would appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.